What's up guys, welcome back to another video. So with everything going on, I'm still trying to maintain and still put out content for you guys. So I figured with WrestleMania coming up this weekend, or what's supposed to be WrestleMania, everything going on, everything keeps changing, and last minute stuff keeps on happening with that. So I'm not gonna lie, I'm kind of interested in what's they're actually gonna put out for WrestleMania this year. It's gonna be weird because there's not gonna be no audience or nothing, but it might be okay. But I figured I'd go ahead and do my top 10 vintage wrestling tees in my collection for you guys. So let's go ahead and jump into the list, and I hope you guys do enjoy this video. Starting off with number 10. These first two are gonna be a little newer, not as old as some of the other ones I have. But when I say newer, I mean like 06, 07, 08, nothing like 2018, 2019, nothing like that. These first two are from two of my favorite wrestlers of all time, so I had to throw these two in there. Starting off with number 10. Like I said, this one is a little bit newer. This one is from 2007, but it's definitely one of my favorite wrestling shirts in my collection, so I had to throw this one on there. And it's this CM Punk shirt right here from 07. So this is actually one of his earlier shirts, as you can see. I want to say he popped up on the main roster in like 05, 06. So this is one of his earlier shirts. You have the skeleton cage, and then you have the heart on the inside. And then if you look on there, it says straight edge hardcore. And then on the back, you have CM Punk and the arch. He's definitely one of my favorite wrestlers of all time, so I had to throw this one in there. I almost threw this one that I actually have on right now as number 10. If you guys can see, it's whenever he was like the leader of the Nexus. So it's like right before the whole Summer of Punk stuff. As you can see, it's actually, he's on the back. But I decided to go with this one instead because it's one of his earlier shirts and I really like the design on this one. Coming in at number 9, again, another newer shirt. This one's actually from 2008, but this is actually when this wrestler was actually like in his prime, when he was at the top of the company. And that is this Edge rated R Superstar tee. So again, just like on the last one, you have a heart with the arm grabbing it. And then you got the rise above right there on the arm. And then it has like this cracked out look, but that's the way it's supposed to look. And then on the back, you have the little rated R Superstar logo. Edge is definitely one of my favorites of all time. So when I found this shirt in the thrift, I was actually pretty excited about it. I guess WWE had a lot of heart stuff going on back then. Moving on to number 8. This is actually one of my most recent pickups. I think this is actually my most recent shirt that I bought on this list. It's this WCW NWO tee right here that I picked up at the DFW Vintage Swap Meet. I really like this one because this one has a bunch of different wrestlers on there. As you can see, you have like Kevin Nash, DDP, Hogan, Flair, Macho Man, Goldberg, Sting. Just a bunch of different wrestlers from that era. I recently saw this same exact shirt on Mercari recently for sale. Somebody was asking $100, which is crazy. I don't know if this shirt's worth that much. I doubt it, but definitely one of my favorite ones in my collection. Next up, number 7. This one is actually one of my most worn ones in my collection. It's just one that I find myself throwing on all the time for some reason. But it's this Goldberg shirt right here. Just Goldberg spelled out. And then you have him ready to grapple right there. And then you have Fear the Spear. His spear was always one of the most devastating looking ones in my opinion. And then down here you have it dated 1998. I want to say this is another one that I got off Mercari for pretty cheap. It's crazy to think that he's still wrestling. Like he's actually wrestling at WrestleMania this year. It was supposed to be against Roman Reigns, but he pulled out, so now it's Braun Strowman, which is kind of weird, but it's whatever. But it's just weird to think that this shirt's from 98 and right now he's like the main champion in the company and he's wrestling at WrestleMania still. It's whatever, I guess. Next up, number 6. This is actually my favorite wrestler of all time. So I had to put at least one of his shirts on my list. I actually have 2. But this is my least favorite of the 2. So this one is number 6. And it's this Rock tee. Finally, The Rock has come back too. And then on the back, you have Miami. That one is on a Toltex. It's a little faded. Doesn't look too bad. It's really hard to see, but it's actually dated 1999. And this is another one that I snagged up off Mercari. I got this one for super cheap as well. Now let's get into the top 5. Coming in at number 5. Can't talk about the Attitude Era without mentioning this dude. And that is this Mick Foley tee that I actually picked up off of Lone Star Vintage. So on the front, you have Shakespeare, Dickens, Malloy, Foley. And then on the back, you have Literature has a whole new face. And then you just got Mick Foley's face right there. So I want to say this is around the time whenever he released his book, which I do own. It's somewhere stored away, probably buried somewhere. But I do have his book and I have The Rock's book from back then. And Mick Foley was always one of my favorites. Coming in at number 4. This one I actually thrifted. I don't remember exactly how much I paid, but it couldn't have been like more than $5. I want to say it was like 3 or 4 maybe. It's been a while since I found this one. But it's this NWO Wolfpac tee right here. You just have the Wolfpac right there on the front, and then down here you have NWO in the house, red and black. And that one is dated 1998. Nothing on the back, unfortunately. The graphic is just on the front only. But you can't mention the Attitude Era in wrestling without mentioning the NWO and also DX, which I still need to get a DX shirt in my collection eventually. I had one a while back, but it was like a newer one. whenever Triple H and Shawn Michaels brought DX back, which they were kind of like watered down or whatever. So I ended up getting rid of that one. But I do want to find one from back in like the late 90s, early 2000s. Definitely one of my favorites in the collection because this one is super wearable. Like I mentioned before, black, red, and white, you can never go wrong with that color. Coming in at number 3, shout outs to Owner to Owner. Go follow them on Instagram. That's where this one came from. And it's the old school Stone Cold I Did It the Hard Way tee. Just have Stone Cold, you got his blue eyes right there staring a hole in you. I did it the hard way. And then you got the WF logo down there. Again, this is also one of my most worn ones out of my collection just because it's a simple black and white tee. You would think me growing up here in Dallas, Texas, that Stone Cold would have been my favorite back then, but it was always The Rock. Stone Cold was always a close number 2 for me for sure. Coming in at number 2, shout outs to Jump Shot Classics on Instagram. Go follow them. That's where I got this one from. And this is the second Rock tee that's on my list because, like I said, The Rock was my favorite wrestler growing up. You just have the Lay It the Smackdown tee right here. But the reason why I like this one more than the other one is because on the back, you have on your candy ass, and then you have the big Brahma Bull logo with The Rock's face. That one is dated 2000. I'm a big fan of this graphic on the back. So that's why this one is number 2 in my collection. And then coming in at number 1, I don't know if this is gonna be, if you guys consider this a t-shirt. It's actually a jersey. But this is definitely my favorite wrestling shirt in my collection. Thrifted this a while back. It's been a long time actually. But it's this Chris Jericho Y2J hockey jersey right here. So as you can see, the thrift tag is actually still on it from when I thrifted it. I paid $1.49 for this. They put 4X on it. I guess because it's a size 48, I guess they saw 4XL instead of 48L. I have no idea. So the fact that I got this for so cheap and what it is makes it my favorite wrestling tee in my collection. Even though it's more of a jersey, not a tee, but still. On the front, you got the Y2J with the hockey stick and the hockey puck. And then on each sleeve, you have the Y2J right there as well. Just like Goldberg, Chris Jericho is still going strong to this day. But unlike him, he reinvents himself, changes his characters, and he's still putting on like 8+ matches, which considering how old he is and how long he's been doing it, it's pretty crazy. To this day, every once in a while, I will get a message on Instagram or somewhere from someone asking me if I still have this and if I want to sell it. So if you're one of those people, no, it's not for sale. So those are my top 10 vintage wrestling tees in my collection. I hope you guys did enjoy the video. If you did, hit that like button. It lets me know, it helps the channel grow, and it gets the video out there for everybody else to see. Subscribe if you're not already. Hopefully I will be doing more thrift and flea market videos soon. And comment down below which one of these was your favorite. I will see you guys soon with another video, so later.
All along, confessing while I know